A new emergency ban list has just dropped. Norden is gone, Speedroid Terratop is at 1, Grass is gone. It's time for the top 5 decks of the post-emergency ban list 2017 leading into Nationals. What's up, you guys? I'm here with a new video today. I'm here to bring you guys what I feel are the top 5 best decks going forward after this emergency ban list that was dropped on us just a couple days ago. I know it doesn't go into effect until next month on the 12th, but most players like myself that are going to Nationals know that unless there are any events coming up in these next couple of weeks before the list takes effect, we're not going to be trying to play an old format. We're not going to be playing old 60 card decks. We're not going to be playing with the Speedroids. We're not going to be playing with the Lunalight combo, etc. We're going to be trying to adapt our decks for Nationals, which is coming up, and for basically this new format leading up to Nationals. You know, pay respects though to the UK having to play their Nats under this format. Kind of sucks. Some of them might like it. They probably like the Lunalight combo. If not, it sucks, but you know, that's the way they decided to do it. So I'm going to start with what I feel the number 5 best deck could be. Now remember, these are just my opinions. I've talked to a couple players. They've given me pretty much the similar answers, and you can agree with me or disagree with me. The one thing I would like is, if I forget any decks, I'm sure I will, please leave them in the comments below as to what you think the top 5 best decks would be and why. And here's, I'll start with number 5. So number 5, I got Magician Pendulums. So you guys saw that coming with the ban list. You know, they put back some of the Magicians. They put, what is it, Pendulum Call to 3. You got Duelist Alliance. You got all these cards that are going to completely support the Pendulum Archetype, the Magician Pendulum Archetype, Sky Iris, Skullcrobat, Joker, etc. The one thing I really like about this deck is that on top of the crazy effects they do, they can pendulum summon, which means they can summon upwards of 5 monsters per turn, you know, just off that one mechanic. Not only that, they can do some other crazy, you know, plays. They can, you know, make Ignister. They can, you know, make rank 4s. They can do so much, and the fact that they're getting all their support back, the fact that they're getting 3 Stratos back is pretty crazy. I mean, we're still waiting for regular Stratos to come here while Magician Pendulums are going to have 3 Jokers again, so I think it's pretty crazy. I feel that that deck definitely has potential. I myself have not played it. I've played against it, and I've seen like the true power that it has, and I feel that now that the deck will be back pretty much at full power with the majority of the best cards back at 3, I think someone is going to find a way to make it really, really good. With the new support we have, like I said, Duelist Alliance, we're going to be able to make that deck really good. So that's my number 5 choice. I had to put it in there. I didn't want to make it an honorary mention because I feel that the ban list is trying to help this Pendulum Archetype, the Pendulums in general. They're trying to, you know, they're adding more cards for Pendulums, so I feel that that's the reason why the deck's going to do well. So that's my number 5 choice. Going on to number 4, I have True King Dinos. Now, I wasn't going to rule this deck out. I tried to play this deck myself before Diagram came out, and I liked it, but I felt like without Diagram it just wasn't as strong. But those of you that have the Diagrams, that have the Masterpiece, that have the cards, I know you guys are playing that build of it. I know that that's, you know, the route to go with that deck. Diagram is insane. The fact that it can destroy your babies to special, you know, your other dinosaurs, the fact that Miscellaneousaurus and Oviraptor are just such good cards. They have the ability to make Logia, you have the ability to make Dolka, you have a boss monster that's just like one of the best boss monsters I've ever seen. 3,500, can burn stuff, can Book of Moon everything. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. That monster alone can out Masterpiece, run it over. If they try to pop it with like Masterpiece or something, you can discard Miscellaneousaurus and save it. I think the deck still has potential. I think people are still just trying to figure out the right formula for it. It did top a regionals this past weekend. I think 2 of them topped. So I feel that even with Zoo at the quote-unquote full power it's at right now with the Lunalight combo and Norden, that deck still had the potential to top, and I feel that it's going to be able to continue to top in this upcoming format. Granted, people are playing Dweller, but I mean, we've always played in a format with Dweller, and decks have died to Dweller before, so you just have to play around that. But I definitely think True King Dinos deserve a spot on here, because I feel that the deck's really good, and we can't deny that the True King Earth guy is insane. Banishing 3 cards from the extra deck, I mean, come on, you pretty much take away your opponent's best answers to your monsters, so that's why I have True King Dinos at number 4. For number 3, I have Metal Foe, Zoo, Draco, Bow Baboon, Pop Everything, and Pendulum Summon, minus Kieran, Rip Kieran, dot deck. So Metal Foes. The reason why I put Metal Foes is for the same reason I had Magician Pendulums at number 5, is they had the Pendulum mechanic. That alone is huge because Anything that says I can summon 5 monsters, you know, is just great. Now, I know everyone's going to say with these Pendulum decks, well, when Links come out, Links aren't out yet, so we're not, you know, including that. I probably should have said that at the beginning, but we're ignoring Links right now because Nationals, we're playing without Links. We're playing, you know, this strict format once the list goes into effect on the 12th of June. So I think Metal Foes, they've always been good. They've always crept up into the top tables. They're very consistent. I mean, they're extremely consistent at what they do. They have the ability to, you know, just spam out a bunch of monsters. Their fusions are insane. They, you know, they can do so much with just, you know, a simple hand of all monsters. I don't know many decks that can really function with a handful of monsters. I haven't seen that many decks in the course of this game's time that can just function with a whole monster hand. So I think Metal Foes are definitely a really good deck. Alkis is still a great card for stealing monsters. You know, Mythrilium is still Mythrilium. It still bounces cards. You still get advantage. You might not have Kieran, but you have Balbaboon now, which is insane. It just, you know, you get so far ahead of your opponent. You can play Ariande, which can search out your counter traps. It's just really, really strong. And I feel that once someone cracks the formula on playing Metal Foes, it's going to do really well. You can still play Zoo in it because even though you're not playing the Lunalight combo, you can still play the Rats. You can still play the Whiptail. You can still make fields that include Dryden. And I mean, that's just insane for a deck that already had pretty strong fields. So definitely putting it off to Metal Foes. Going up to number 2, we have True Draco. Now, when I say True Draco, I know I've mentioned True Draco in pretty much all of this. You know, I forgot to add that, of course, you know, Diagram pops Metal Foes because, you know, that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played. It's pretty crazy. But, the True Draco Demise deck is what I'm talking about. The Carta Demise, triple duality, 7-8 monster deck that, you know, basically is Masterpiece Turbo. Now, there is no denying that the majority of us have included Kaijus in our deck for the past couple formats, not just because of, you know, just getting rid of problematic Floodgate monsters, but also for Zoo. And now with Masterpiece released, we have to play Kaijus. We have to play them. They are needed because we can't always slumber away our problem. We have to just hard tribute over the Masterpiece in order to continue playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Masterpiece is such a strong card that at 2950, 3250 with the field, there's not a lot of monsters you can play that can run it over, and they can also pop when you're trying to set up to out the Masterpiece. So honestly, Kaiju monsters are the best answer to that, and I feel that that alone makes the deck strong. You protect your Masterpiece, you have Call of the Huns that basically bring it back, you have Super Rejuvenation, you have Mini Pot of Avarice, you have all these things that make your deck just flow, and you just Masterpiece Turbo your opponent, and it's just insane. I think that that card is so strong. It alone has knocked Paleozoic out of contention for even being one of the best decks, which is crazy when you figure Paleozoic has such a good Zoo matchup, but it just literally cannot play against True Draco because you cannot do anything to a Masterpiece that is unaffected by traps. No monster in your extra deck can get over it. That's insane, and I think it definitely deserves the number 2 spot because of what it does. It's a Demise deck. We all know how Demise decks go. They draw a billion cards, they set up a field you can't break, and you pretty much don't get to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, it's so consistent that with the diagrams, the terraformings, like, you just will always get to what you need, and I feel that that alone makes the deck definitely the number 2 spot. So yeah, number 2 spot is definitely True Draco Demise, aka Masterpiece Turbo. And of course, number 1, we all saw this coming, it's Zoo, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, it's Zoo, you guys, of course. Like, it doesn't matter what you do to this deck. Now, before anyone says anything, look at Japan. Look at what Japan has to work with. They have no Dryden, no Barrage, they're still playing the deck. They're maxing out on Zodiac monsters so they can summon their other XYZs. They're still playing the deck. We lost the Lunalight combo. Oh well. When Zoo first came out, we weren't even playing it. Like, no one was playing it until some of the pro players discovered it and then made it public knowledge. No one was playing the Lunalight Black Sheep. No one was playing the Fusion Substitute. People were barely playing Instant Fusion. I think Instant Fusion was maybe a 1 or 2 of if they played it. And that alone just said, you know, oh, we weren't abusing Norden as much. Well, now the whole deck is Norden. You summon Norden how many times in a turn? Like 6, 7 times. You draw a billion cards. Now with that gone and the Terratop at 1, you're not going to be playing Terratop. You're going to be playing Zoo the way I guess it was supposed to be played, which is just the Zoo monsters. Now, you can do other things, like you can put Balbaboon in there. Like I said, you can play the engine in Metal Foes and other decks, but True Draco is the way to go. Aaron Furman clearly proved that. He won YCS Pittsburgh with the True Draco cards in there, with the Zoo cards in there, and that's the way the deck's supposed to be played, I guess. Now that they've taken a hit, in a sense, like losing Norden, losing you know, Terratop to 1, they still have the ability to play their game and end with Dryden, end with Emerald. They still have combos, they still have Kaijus, they still have, you know, just really strong monsters, they still have Whiptails, they still have Thoroughblades, they still have Barrages. We still have all these cards that OCG doesn't have, and they're still making the deck work, so there is no excuse for us not to make the deck work. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but it's true. You can keep hitting Zoo over and over and over again, but the deck is still going to keep coming back until, like, they completely do away with, I honestly don't even know what they'd have to do away with to end the deck, but the deck alone is going to stand for this upcoming format, for this Nationals, probably as the best deck and the most played deck because it's consistent and it's powerful. These cards are extremely powerful. They remind a lot of players of how powerful Dragon Rulers were back in the day. Now, you know, flash forward 4 years and we have Zoo monsters. We have a Rat, freaking Viper. We have all these cards that literally are one card XYZ. I don't know how many decks you can play that you just need one card to go off. That's pretty insane. So yeah, unfortunately, number 1, it's Zoo, and that's, you know, just how, you know, that's how things go in this game. Honorable mentions, I would say, are Winwitch, Invoked. Artifacts are just not that strong against True Draco, but you can play the Kaijus in the deck. That's a deck I'm testing right now. Other honorable mentions are Minerva, of course. I love the deck. Now that we lost Grass, you have to go back to a 40-card build, maybe a totally awesome build like I was playing before. There's, you know, there's Infernoid. You can play 40-card Infernoid. I don't know how that deck does, though, these days. It struggles against True Draco because outside of Inoku, there's not too many outs to a Masterpiece that's unaffected by monster effects. But there's still plenty of other deck options, and that's where I want you guys to chime in. What decks did I miss in the top 5? What decks would you include and why? What decks are coming out, you know, between now and Nationals are going to make going to shake things up. Everyone will have access to Minerva, so Minerva will be a deck if people can find the right build for it. I'm currently working on it, trying to figure out where we go from here. Without Grass, we have to go down from a 60-card deck, probably down to about a 40, 45-card deck, or if we're crazy like my brother Johnny, we play 50 with Judgment Dragon, but I don't know what route we're going to go, but we're still working on that, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated. But yeah, those are my top 5, you guys. Again, number 5 was Pendulum Magicians, number 4 was True King Dino, number 3 was Metal Foes in all its forms, number 2 was True Draco Demise, Masterpiece Turbo, and number 1 was Zoo of all ages because Zoo is just insane. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Let me know in the comments below any decks I missed. Be sure to include why you feel a deck should have been included here. One more honorable mention, Paleozoic. I love Totally Awesome, but getting hit with a Masterpiece that's unaffected by traps just sucks. So I hope Paleozoic can still hang in there. They have a great Zoo matchup, but it might not be enough if they can't out the Masterpiece. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.